The 2019 WWE Draft is the perfect representation of what WWE is in 2019. A complete waste of time. This draft did absolutely nothing for anybody. At the end of the day, outside of a handful of wrestlers, everyone remained where they were before this wild card rule hit the fan. The shit hit the fan. The shit being the wild card rule. No one really changed brands. And if they did, it doesn't feel all that different because all the wrestlers have at least touched Raw or SmackDown at least once or twice. So it's not going to feel unique. Anyways. But regardless, at the very least, what we could have done with this draft was start fresh, start anew, completely shake it up, give us something different. What WWE decided to do instead was give us more of the same.
Hear me out, I think this was a double turn. Think about it the way the Funhouse was destroyed and Seth not giving a damn and Bray retorted out of kindness. Or at least I hope that's the case.
I think that's what you wanted to be, Aaron Sherwood, but we'll talk about that after the draft. We have a big discussion on Seth Rollins and his decline, big time, character-wise and outside the ring. But as always, this is your boy, Alyx, and of course, if you like the video and you want more, please actually like the video, give it a like, and give me a subscription. Subscribe and help your boy Alyx get to 30,000 subscribers. While you're at it, if you really want to help expand the brand of your boy Alyx, you can do a couple of things. You can like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, DaLexmanVX1, donate using PayPal, Patreon, or just like you saw with Mr. Aaron Sherwood, Super Chats. Super Chats are open, and yes, it will be read live on air. Email me at justalexsworld@gmail.com. But most importantly, buy yourself a Alyx t-shirt today at Pro Wrestling Tees. Let's not waste any time. Most of you are here for my thoughts on the draft results. So I had the list of draftees right here in front of me. We're going to go through each name and give my thoughts on them, I suppose, and then overall thoughts at the end. And then we're going to go into a big, long discussion on Seth Rollins and whether WWE went wrong with him and this whole feud with Bray Wyatt, a.k.a. The Fiend. So let's get right to it. These are the picks from Smackdown. The following people were drafted to Raw from night one. Becky Lynch. You spent all that time with Becky Lynch promoting Smackdown, the move to Fox, and she goes to Raw. Smart, right? Did all that hype with the show with Becky, promoting it in interviews. Even did the very first segment on SmackDown with Becky Lynch and The Rock. And she goes to Raw. Smart.
Smackdown got whack drafts. New Day and Bray don't fit.
We'll talk about my thoughts on if the picks were whack. But Raw also got AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson. They went nowhere. Okay? They got them during the shakeup. What's different? McIntyre stayed on Raw. What's different? Ricochet stayed on Raw. What's different?
Honestly, the best part of the draft was the Fox box, in my opinion.
We'll talk about this War Room Fox box with the robots and stuff later. Let me just get through the results, because some of you don't even watch these shows anymore, so you want the results. Ricochet stayed on Raw. Bobby Lashley and Lana stayed on Raw. Porn! It's porn night on Monday Night Raw. This past episode, we saw Lana in a freaking, was that a massage parlor? Some kind of massage room getting a massage. And she was talking about deeper. I want it bigger. I want it harder. Oh my god. So, blood and guts. That's not cool. That's too far, right? But porn? Fair game, right? Porn is fair game. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross got drafted separately. Not as a tag team, but separately. So they split up Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss because... Okay. Natalya stayed on Raw. Viking Raiders, who are your new tag team champions, stayed on Raw. And Street Profits got moved to Raw. Alright. So the new draft picks, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens. I think that's the only two new ones from Friday. Yep, just Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. First off, Kevin Owens did all this work, spent all this time on SmackDown trying to fight Shane McMahon, trying to put him out of business, get him to quit. Succeeds. So Shane is fired from SmackDown. And then he gets drafted to Raw, where Shane can just walks right back in because he can't go back to SmackDown. Who says he just can't show up on Raw? So what was the point? What was the point of Kevin Owens doing all that work to get rid of Shane McMahon, only for him to go to Raw and potentially still have to deal with Shane McMahon? Fun, right? And Randy Orton's going to Raw, sure. Nothing else for him to do on SmackDown, so you might as well send him to Raw, I suppose. The following people got drafted to SmackDown. You ready for this? You ready? Roman Reigns. Got that is, man. Yeah, man. Oh my goodness. Shocker, right? Lacey Evans. Ooh. The Revival. Ooh. Well, the Revival was SmackDown Tag Team Champ, so shocker. Heavy Machinery were already on SmackDown. Lucha House Party. I guess that's new because they're coming in from 205 Live, but ooh. Got some new ones, I suppose. Sasha Banks. Sure. Braun Strowman. That's one I actually like. I'll be fair. I actually like Braun Strowman going to SmackDown because he needs to get far away from Raw. As soon as he gets done with this Tyson Fury boring feud that no one cares about, they're only doing it to pop a sad rating with some outside viewers. It's not going to work. It's for Crown Jewel. No one's watching Crown Jewel. No one cares about it. But hopefully, as soon as he's done with this, we can actually push him as a legit main event star. Hopefully. And the last one is The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt's going to SmackDown. Well, actually, I take that back. I heard rumors that he is going to be a blockbuster trade. They're going to trade Bray Wyatt back to Raw. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but there will be a blockbuster trade soon where Bray Wyatt goes back to Raw. Or they might do something where Bray Wyatt is on SmackDown, but The Fiend stays on Raw. I don't know. He's doing a feud with Seth Rollins right now, and that's not going to end anytime soon. We'll talk about that when we get to it. Throughout the entire night, both Raw and SmackDown, we did these stupid-ass War Room segments with these horrible actors of... I don't even know who they were. I'm guessing indie wrestlers are just C-list celebrities that we don't know about, just pretending to be executives from USA and Fox. And they would celebrate when certain people get drafted and, you know, lose their minds, rip off their shirts and just tear shit up when they lose certain people. Roman Reigns gets drafted to SmackDown. We got the War Room's Fox Room dancing and celebrating with the freaking robot, the football robot. We have all these guest commentators from sports shows, Sports Center, and other news networks talking about WWE, not really showing interest into the modern day talent. It's stupid. It was all just horribly done. Horribly done. It looked fake. It didn't look genuine whatsoever. It did the complete opposite of what it was intending to do. make it feel like an actual sport. It felt fake. It didn't feel real at all, whatsoever. And that's sad. That's the sad part of it all. And then we move on to the picks that happened tonight on Raw. You ready for this? Starting up with the ones who got moved to Raw. You ready? Seth Rollins, the Universal Champion. Oh my God. You ready? Watch this. Rusev, Cedric Alexander, Jinder Mahal, Samoa Joe, Rey Mysterio. No one? Does anybody care about these? I wonder why. Because they were already on Raw, right? Wonderful. Titus O'Neil, Liv Morgan. To be fair, Charlotte going to Raw, I mean, that was going to happen, but I make the same complaint I do with Becky. You did all this promotion with Charlotte and Becky, you know, hyping up SmackDown, going to Fox, and then they both get moved to Raw. It's one thing if Becky got moved to Raw and Charlotte stayed on SmackDown. No, you moved both Charlotte and Becky to Raw. And of course, when you move Charlotte to Raw, you gotta bring in her fiance. That means Andrade has to come to Raw. That means Zelina Vega has to come to Raw, because that's Andrade's manager. That also means her her husband, Aleister Black, has to come to Raw. So, with Charlotte, you get Andrade, Zelina, and Aleister Black. Which is exactly what we got here. And Aleister Black was already on Raw, I think. Or was he on SmackDown? I'm pretty sure he was a Raw guy. I'm positive he was a Raw guy. Whatever. Kabuki Warriors, that's Asuka and Kairi Sane, got moved to Raw. Although they're the women's tag team champions, so they can do cross-brand matches. So they'll be on Raw and SmackDown. It didn't really matter to begin with. We got some cruiserweights moving to Raw. We had Humberto Carrillo, Buddy Murphy, Akira Tozawa, and watch this, Shelton. I love this. Shelton Benjamin got moved to Raw. That's cool, I suppose. I heard Shelton's about to call it a day anyway, so why not? I was hoping for more out of Shelton Benjamin and Ricochet tonight on Raw, but I was quickly reminded that Shelton's getting too old, so it is what it is. Oh, and watch this. Jinder Mahal. Nobody? Former WWE champion? Okay, how about this? R-Truth. Nothing? Okay. Maybe the SmackDown list will make you even more excited. You ready? Watch this. SmackDown drafts, I'll give you a big hint. He's a WWE champion. The SmackDown belt holder. Brock Lesnar, you're right! Brock Lesnar is going to SmackDown. Are you excited? What about this? The New Day. What about this? Daniel Bryan. What about Bayley? These are all the same people who are already on SmackDown. What about Nakamura and Sami Zayn? Yeah, already on SmackDown. Carmella. King Corbin. Elias. Already on SmackDown. I know. Watch this one. Shorty Gable. Can we stop, please? And what makes it even worse is that we had Chad Gable go on Twitter and embrace it. He's all like, who wants to get shortened? Who wants to get shorty? Who wants to get shorty? And I don't even know what he said on Twitter. Something along the lines of, it's all about being shorty. Who's here to ride with shorty? And I'm just like, stop. Can we stop, please? Stop. You're not making it any better, dude. You're done. This name is horrible. It's burying him. And before long, they'll call him Shorty G. No one thought this was a good idea. This is the dumbest thing they've done. I can't believe this is actually happening. It's no wonder Mike Kanellis wants the hell out of here. By the way, those of you who don't know, Mike Kanellis requested his release today. He requested his release. He wants to be done with WWE. He didn't even...
Is Raw over? Is it safe to wake up now?
It's safe to wake up. Come on in, Mr. TKO. Mike Kanellis didn't even last a full year in his 5-year contract. He signed that 5-year contract for $500,000 thinking that it was going to be the best things for his career. He went 6 months. No, they didn't even go 6 months. What? He signed it in June, right? It's October, so not even half a year. 4 months in, he wants out. Buyer's remorse. He wants out. I wonder why. Was it the fact that he basically was completely emasculated on Raw by his wife, his own wife, who said he's not the father of his own child? Why would he want to stay? And then on top of that, you embarrass him, you bury him, and then you don't use him. I should feel sorry for him. I do kind of feel sorry for him. He deserves to be happy. He deserves to take care of his family, and he deserves to be treated right. But Mike, Mr. Mike Bennett, I'll call you by your actual wrestling name. What the hell did you think was going to happen? They didn't respect you when you first showed up. So did you think they were going to treat you better when you re-signed? I don't feel sorry for him. And knowing Vince McMahon, they'll probably Luke Harper him. They most likely will Luke Harper him. As in, they won't let him leave. And they'll extend his contract. Hopefully they let him go, but I don't think they will. I think they're going to extend his contract. And if they do, I don't feel sorry for him. You resigned, bro. You signed the contract. We all said it was a bad idea, but you did it anyways. So now you have to fulfill it if they don't let you go. Ali's going to Smackdown. Shocker! Let's see here. The only two that they got that was new was Rude and Ziggler. Although Ziggler was already on SmackDown. And Rude... Wait, no he wasn't. Ziggler went to Raw. He just came back on SmackDown. Lord have mercy. Rude and Ziggler are going to SmackDown. I'm not even going to waste too much brain power on it. Miz is going back to SmackDown. Should have never left SmackDown. Don't know why he went to Raw. That was so stupid. And apparently, the following people are free agents. Free agents. Cesaro's a free agent. I hope he goes to NXT. I pray he goes to NXT. Fire and Desire, that's Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. They'll probably stay on SmackDown. I'm praying they stay on SmackDown. Eric Young's a free agent. Doesn't really matter where he goes. Apparently, I heard he got drafted to Raw. I think those are the only free agents so far. Let me see if I can find a better list. Let's see here. Free agents. Here we go. Matt Hardy is a free agent. Well, they're probably waiting on Jeff Hardy to come back, so he might stay a free agent. ALP is going to Raw because we need to have the Viking Raiders fight somebody. So ALP is definitely going to Raw. Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder probably staying on Raw. Dana Brooke forgot she had a job. Probably staying on Raw. Drake Maverick. That one might go to SmackDown. Who knows? Luke Harper is going with Eric Rowan to Raw. For sure. Mojo Rawley, who cares? What? I don't know. 205 Live main event. The Iconics, they'll stay on SmackDown. No Way Jose, who cares? Probably go to the main event. Sarah Logan, who cares? Probably go to the main event. And the people who haven't come back yet, Ruby Riott, Samoa Joe, like I said, is going to Raw. He was already on Raw, but whatever. I don't know. This just seems like such a waste of time because nothing changed. Literally nothing changed. It's the same people on the same damn shows. You might as well have just done trades, if anything. That would have just saved us so much more time. But whatever, WWE doesn't think about this stuff. And that's the thing about Raw, you gotta learn. That's the thing about WWE, period, we have to learn. We just gotta stop thinking. We just got to stop thinking about this stuff, because they don't think about it. So us thinking is just hurting our brains. Apparently Sami Zayn's a free agent. That's what people are telling me. Nah, I'm assuming he's gonna go to SmackDown. If Sami Zayn's a free agent, please go to NXT. That's all I'm gonna say. If Sami Zayn is a free agent, send him back to NXT, please. For the love of God, send him back. Now, that's my thoughts on the draft. It was a waste of time. It was horribly executed. But you know what else was horribly executed? This whole angle with Seth Rollins and the Fiend. So let's talk about it, shall we? Give me your thoughts about the draft results down below in the comments in the live chat, and we'll probably read it afterwards. Seth Rollins, in my opinion, has had quite the year. And when I say quite the year, I mean in a bad way, in a very negative way. Last year, I swear to God, this man was the hottest act in wrestling. Everyone and their mamas was saying this man needs to be world champion. This man needs to be the guy. He needs to be the top of the company. And we were crying for it. We were begging for it. And then we got it. And then this year, they did everything they can to make him as lame and corporate as any other wrestler. And it didn't help that he put his own foot in his mouth. With him going on Twitter saying WWE is the greatest wrestling show on the planet, which is what it is. It's whatever. You can say that if you believe it. You gotta believe it if you're gonna be the top guy in the company. You have to be the flag bearer of that. But when he's challenged by Will Ospreay, who says, I think we are the best wrestling company, as in New Japan and Will Ospreay, he then starts bragging about his bank account, which makes him look like a complete joke, like a complete corporate fool. He apologized for it, but we don't forget Seth. And then he spends about a month and a half being Becky Lynch's man, the man's man. He's the man's man. Oh my goodness. And then he ends up beating Brock Lesnar twice, which, whoa. And then this happens. I didn't even talk about the stuff with Baron Corbin. We're not going to talk about that. That was garbage. But then this stuff with The Fiend. It could have been good for both men. It could have made Seth Rollins look like a complete badass going up against this monster of an unstoppable force. And no one asked for this. Let's just get down to the nitty-gritty when it comes to Seth Rollins and The Fiend. No one asked for this. No one told WWE to book The Fiend against Seth Rollins. No one did this. You did. You decided, okay, we're going to book The Fiend against Seth Rollins. No one said that. You did it. So here you are. Now you're putting him up against, Seth Rollins up against the hottest act in wrestling. I'm assuming WWE didn't think he would get this hot. Or they knew he would get this hot, but didn't care too much to protect him going forward. But here he is, the hottest act in wrestling, and you put him against Seth Rollins, whose popularity is declining as time goes by, to the point that he has to delete his own goddamn Twitter. Yeah, people don't forget Seth. He deleted his own Twitter because he tried, if I'm not mistaken, the story goes, Seth Rollins tried to take a shot at Sasha Banks. Right? Just a little jab at Sasha Banks on Twitter during her feud with Becky Lynch, saying that she's a crybaby and she should have stayed gone. Sasha Banks retorted, reminding fans of Seth Rollins' ex and the time that his ex posted a naked photo of him. And then the Sasha bots? Or the Sasha stands? I don't know what they call the Sasha Banks fans. Sasha stands? Whatever. They apparently sent him death threats, which I've never seen at all. Just death threats. They bothered him. They bothered him so much that Seth Rollins deleted his Twitter. Although he came back. But it's clear that this guy, he doesn't have the mentality of a main event player. He can't handle the pressure of being on top. So the fans see this. They see Seth not really handling it very well, not being the main event player we were hoping he would be. Whether that's his fault or not, I think it's a combination of both. I think it's Seth Rollins himself and WWE's horrible booking. Especially when they book him against The Fiend. He's gonna get booed. You're gonna get booed if you're going up against the highest act. Then we did that horrible ass finish last Sunday at Hell in a Cell. A Hell in a Cell match ending in a DQ, which is the dumbest thing, referee stoppage. It ended in DQ. Don't give me that BS. It ended in DQ with the audience completely turning on Seth Rollins because the fans did not want to see the Fiend lose. They want to see the Fiend be dominant. They want to see the Fiend destroy stuff. They want to see the Fiend be a monster. So much so that they actually started treating him like a babyface, like a hero, and turned on Seth Rollins during the goddamn match. It was such a horribly booked match. It was such a crap fest. The stuff afterwards didn't help. Yes, the Fiend got back up and choked out Seth Rollins with blood coming out of his mouth. It was such a crap fest that they didn't even talk about it. Mention it last week on Monday. They waited a full week. A full week. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. They had the Fiend attack Seth Rollins on Smackdown. But they waited a full week to address it storyline-wise. Because they were scared fans were going to boo Seth Rollins, right? Okay, so they waited a full week. A full week to let it all die down. What did they do this week? We have Seth Rollins show up in the Firefly Funhouse and literally burn it down. Attack Bray Wyatt, the alternate personality of the Fiend, who wasn't even trying to attack him. He attacked Bray Wyatt and then burned down the Firefly Funhouse. And he got what? You're right, he got booed. Again. You've learned nothing, WWE. You don't understand your audience whatsoever. Either you do, and you're idiots, and you're choosing to go against the grain, which is the dumbest thing you can do. You're basically slapping your audience in the face, and that will make fans not want to watch you. Especially with AEW. You got AEW on Wednesdays. You're basically telling your audience to go watch AEW. You better stop that. So you either are deliberately going against the grain because you're idiots and you get some sick enjoyment out of that. I heard reports of Vince McMahon laughing at the audience for booing the Hell in a Cell ending, screwing them over and laughing at them because that's smart, right? Or maybe they're that oblivious. They're that oblivious to what's going on. They have no idea what the fans like. They think what they're doing is working, and they live in this contained bubble of, we think this is going to work, and it just isn't working. And all you're doing is, from what it looks like, you're turning Seth Rollins heel. You're turning him unintentionally into the villain. And fans just get more and more behind the Fiend every night. And I thought they learned their lesson, but they haven't. And so people now in the live chat are talking to me like, well, Deluxe Man, it's a double turn. Was it? What indicated that it was a double turn? No offense to Aaron Sherwood, who mentioned it at the beginning of the podcast during a super chat. I'm not mocking you. But at what point tonight did this indicate a double turn? It might end up being a double turn out of necessity to save this goddamn program. And at this point, yeah, you might as well just turn him heel. Just turn Seth heel. Just do it. He's not going to get cheered anymore. I think you might have had a chance to salvage him with that 1 week break. You could have done something different here. Maybe have Rollins go out there and at least say that match should not have been stopped. It should have kept going. I want another match with him. Something like that. No, you didn't even do that. You just had him come in and just... If you know fans are invested in Bray Wyatt, you know fans are invested in the Firefly Funhouse, why would you have your so-called hero attack your most popular wrestler and expect the fans to be okay with that? And don't give me this whole argument, well, the casual viewers like... You gotta stop saying that. You gotta stop saying the casual viewers like... The casual viewers ain't watching you. Okay, who you have right now watching Raw? Well, WWE period, but watching Raw especially are hardcore fans.
Remember I called the rematch a crown jewel? Heavy $sign.
You did, piece of slice. They're gonna have a rematch at Crown Jewel. It's gonna be some kind of a false count anywhere, I think. False count anywhere match, some no DQ match, which will probably end in a no contest again. I'm not watching the match at Crown Jewel because I know it will end in a no contest. They don't have the balls to have a winner during a show that nobody's gonna watch.
I know after Hayek you don't want to give WWE the benefit of the doubt, but get this angle. Intel Crown Jewel also reports that WWE knew they screwed up.
I'm not giving this angle anything. Sorry, Aaron Sherwood. This is done. This is a dead angle. I don't expect them to do what I think they should to make it work, which is essentially turn Seth Rollins heel. They don't have the balls to do that. But even if they did, I don't see them doing what's necessary to get Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, over. I think at the end of the day, they had no intentions of putting the championship.
Wyatt canceled network subscription. Seth Rollins v. Bray Wyatt in Saudi Arabia falls count. Anywhere after what happened last Sunday, enough said.
The problem with this feud now is that if you're not going to put the championship on Bray Wyatt, on the Fiend, what was the point? What was the point of doing it? It really does feel pointless, and it was a waste of time. Just like this draft. It doesn't get anybody over. You kind of had to put the championship on the Fiend for this to matter. And in doing so, you had to turn Rollins heel for him to get something out of it. That's the only way we're going to establish this feud. Otherwise, if you do what I think you're going to do, which is have all their matches go to a no contest, Seth Rollins somehow escapes the Fiend at Survivor Series in their third match, and then he goes out to be a babyface champion, which is not going to work. You're going to end up making him a Roman Reigns, where the fans hate him, which is not what you should do. That is horrible.
I think they're crazy enough to put Seth over.
That's what I'm saying. I think what's going to happen, unfortunately, and I'm sorry you guys are going to hate me saying this, I think they're going to have Seth Rollins beat the Fiend. He's going to somehow beat the Fiend in some BS fashion to protect him. It's not going to help anyone get over. It's going to make both of them look weak. It's going to make fans not want to watch WWE even more. It kills Bray Wyatt's chances of being a megastar.
Hey, Seth Orton called. He wants his fire back.
It just seems like WWE doesn't want to do what's necessary to create new stars anymore. Even when people like Bray Wyatt go out of his way to create his own character, make himself an awesome persona that could make him not just a star, but a mega star. They don't know how to use it to get it over. Or
Vince McMahon is rich, he doesn't care. Seth Rollins is putting a curse every main event player.
I just feel like it's just one of those things where WWE either doesn't know what to do with Bray Wyatt, the character, even though it was hand-fed to them, it's gold given to them, or they know what to do with it, and they're deliberately sabotaging it because they don't want it to get over. They don't feel like it deserves to get over. That Bray doesn't deserve to get over. And if that's the case, let him go. Like, I'm so sick of these executives telling these wrestlers they're not good enough. You're not good enough to get over. We don't feel like you deserve to get over. You can make us money, but we don't want you to make money for us. What is this? Is this Vince McMahon stopping people from getting too over so they don't leave him? Listen, Vince, if you stop wrestlers from getting over so they don't leave you, they're going to leave you anyways because you're stifling them. At least when they get over and they go to other places and, expand their horizons, it makes you look good. What doesn't make you look good is you telling these wrestlers you can't get over. You're not supposed to get over right now. And that's what's happening with The Fiend, unfortunately. There is absolutely no reason why The Fiend shouldn't be a major hit in the wrestling world. A kind of hit that can draw in casual viewers. But here you are stifling him with Seth Rollins. And in turn, you're making Seth Rollins look even worse than he did before. Seth Rollins beat Brock Lesnar twice. Not just And he didn't just beat him twice. He beat him one time when he was injured, when he wasn't at 100%. And you're taking all that and flushing it down the toilet. Because you're scared to put over the Fiend when it's necessary. You're going to hit this problem again so many more times in the future, WWE. You got to strike while the iron is hot. Stop pussyfooting around this and just give him the championship. You booked yourself into this corner. You booked yourself into the corner with the Fiend. You didn't learn your lesson. You can't move on from it. So now you have to fix it. You have to do collateral damage. If you try to get out of it, it's just going to make both of them look worse. Worse than they already are. Rollins already looks completely bad. He looks like crap right now. You might have to turn him heel to make him seem remotely credible.
Bray Wyatt, please go to AEW.
People should just go to AEW, period. Like, Mike Kanellis, Mike Bennett should definitely go. But this feud is one of those feuds that just make me hate the WWE creative. And here we are thinking Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff are going to make things different. You can't. You can't change the product with Vince McMahon in charge. As long as Vince McMahon runs the ship, nothing these guys do, nothing Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff do is going to make things better. Because there's absolutely no reason why these guys should not be killing it right now. But what can we do? What can we do? And so now I have to look forward to Seth Rollins taking on The Fiend, which I won't see at Crown Jewel, and then it ending in another no contest.
Especially because Bray did nothing wrong if WWE.
It's one of those things where you look at what people like Jon Moxley, almost said Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley said on the Chris Jericho podcast, CM Punk said on the Colt Cabana podcast, about people in WWE just don't know how to write a wrestling show. They have no idea what they're doing in the wrestling business anymore. And what's happening is this niche market of wrestling fans that we have, it isn't growing, it isn't expanding. We aren't trying to grab the massive audience that we can potentially be doing. And instead, this niche audience that we have, they're starting to leave now. They might come back here and there, but your audience isn't growing. It's dwindling, and it's continuing to dwindle. And before long, these low ratings that you're seeing with Raw and SmackDown getting a 2.8, you fell from, what was a 4.2 high rating not this past Friday, but the previous SmackDown episode Friday, the debut episode on Fox, that had a high rating of 4.2, overall rating of 3.8. You fell from a 4.2 to a 2.8 this past week on Friday Night SmackDown. You had millions of fans. That's a million fans right there. Just not watch. That you lost. What we're seeing here is the erosion of what we loved as a wrestling audience. Once in a while, we'll get these awesome characters like Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, for example. And then we'll get an awesome champion like Seth Rollins, and then we'll get this horrible booking. And then next thing you know, Seth Rollins is turning into the next Roman Reigns. He really is turning into the next Roman Reigns. And based off of the way this feud is going, they're going to have him escape the Fiend, and he's going to be hated. He's going to be a new Roman Reigns. And then Bray Wyatt, who is so many other wrestlers in the past who were hot, the wrestlers that had all the tools to be main event players, had all the tools to be mega stars, and WWE passed up on them or waited too late to push them. So again, I have to ask WWE, have you learned anything? Or are you deliberately sabotaging your own product for your own enjoyment? Because you don't care, right? You're going to get paid anyway. You're still getting $1 billion from Fox. You're still going to get Saudi Arabia money, blood money from Saudi Arabia. You're getting paid anyways, right? And we're all going to watch like idiots, right? We're all just going to watch because we can't help ourselves. Fans need to show WWE that they can't tolerate this, which is why I had to put this point in there. If you are sick of WWE, you have to show them that you're sick of them by tuning into AEW, by tuning into these other alternatives that you have out there. Even NXT is different. But what happens is, we come up here on the internet. We complain about WWE screwing things up and how we're sick of things. But the ratings for Raw and SmackDown still remain stagnant. They don't drop or change. Well, they're slowly but surely dropping over time. But they're still pretty high. Like, look, Raw's probably going to get somewhere over 2 million viewers this week. SmackDown will probably be over 2 million viewers. AEW won't even crack 2 million, unfortunately. And NXT is below 1 million. So the alternatives, which fans say are better shows, aren't getting the viewers. They're not getting the viewerships to show fans that they're sick of what WWE is giving them. So these companies over here are giving you what you want, and yet we're still giving WWE all the viewers, and they continue to slap us in the face every single time. With Tyson Fury versus Braun Strowman, with Cain Velasquez versus Brock Lesnar, with all these matches we never wanted to see, and taking our favorites like the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and embarrassing him. Taking our favorites like Seth Rollins, running him through the mill, making him into the next Roman Reigns. And what's the consequence to all this? They still get paid $1 billion. They still get money from Saudi Arabia. Who really wins here? It's not fair. It really isn't fair when you think about the way WWE treats their audience. And I think fans should really, really look into supporting an alternative, man. And someone in the live chat just said, Alyx, man, you gotta not watch WWE yourself. Fans, here's the reality of the situation. I watch WWE from a business perspective. As a YouTuber, everybody watches WWE. Wrestling fans watches WWE. The highest views on my channel are WWE videos. If I just did AEW videos, I wouldn't have any views. Or NXT videos, I wouldn't have any views. My channel would be completely ignored by the YouTube algorithm, and I wouldn't be able to do what I do here. I have to watch WWE. I have to review WWE because the fan base says we want you to review WWE. So here's what's going to happen. You want to tell me, Alyx, man, stop watching WWE. No. Here's what needs to happen. The fan base as a whole needs to make a decision that WWE is not cool anymore. AEW is now cool. We want to watch AEW, and we're going to watch AEW videos. You have to make the decision to make AEW the prime time show. If you don't, guess what? WWE still remains on top. WWE still the monopoly. We as business folk, we as business minds, have to follow the trend. For my channel to be what it is, I have to review WWE. I have to watch crappy shows like tonight, like the flat-ass show of Smackdown last Friday. I have to review this waste of a time draft and talk about this feud between The Fiend and Seth Rollins, which is ruining both characters to the point where Rollins has to turn heel, otherwise he's irrelevant or going to become the new Roman Reigns. Or The Fiend, who, if he doesn't come out on top, he's going to feel like a dud. You want to tell me, Alyx, man, you have to do this. You don't have to watch WWE. You have to watch New Japan Pro Wrestling, NXT. No, guys. I do what I have to do. I do what I must do for the channel, for the fans that watch me. The fans want me to review WWE. The fans want me to talk about this stuff. This is why you watch it. Even right now, as I talk about this show, I have 332 people watching me. 332 people. That's more than the people who were here during the live stream, by the way. I had 200 people watching me during the live stream. This is almost double of what I had during the live stream. If I had this many people watching me during the AEW show, during NXT, during NWA Power, absolutely, I would watch those shows, review them, and not mess with Raw or SmackDown. But guess what? WWE continues to waste your time, continues to give you crappy stories like freaking Natalya and Lacey Evans, who last week had a last woman standing match. Had this feud that went on for about a month. And then all of a sudden, the very next week, we're a tag team. Competing for the women's tag team titles. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. It is completely intelligent insulting. Made no sense whatsoever. Even the commentators were like, this makes zero sense. Why are we doing this? But that's the company we support. And I had people like OTRS Central, Jeff Schlag Daddy from OTRS Central Off the Rope Show telling me, what are you doing? You know better. You shouldn't be thinking about WWE. You know what? Call me a hopeless romantic. Call me a hopeless wrestling fan. But maybe, just maybe, there's a side of me that just thinks maybe they'll figure it out. Maybe something will happen where they'll wake up and give us an actually good product. That they'll actually try. But no, they're not going to try because they don't have to. They're making money in spite of their bad product. The only person that's being entertained by all of this is Vince McMahon. That's the only one who's entertained by all of this. This show, Raw and SmackDown, even with Eric Bischoff, even with Paul Heyman, is being written for an audience of one. That main event at Hell in a Cell, where the fans were pissed off and everyone backstage was just mind-blown about that dumbass ending. You know who liked that ending? I'll give you a goddamn hint. Vincent Kennedy McMahon. He was laughing. Reports say he was laughing at the ending, laughing at the fans' disappointment, laughing at the fans' booing. He got the most enjoyment out of all of this because it's a show written for him. An audience of one. It's not about the masses. It's not about the 2 million or the viewers they're trying to grow with. It's about entertaining Vince. At the end of the day, that is what WWE is as a product. If it's not NXT, if it's not AEW, if it's not NWA Power, if it's not New Japan Pro Wrestling, the show is about entertaining Vince. It's not about us. He doesn't give a damn about us. It's about him. Because only a selfish bastard will look at Hell in a Cell, have that ending, know it would piss fans off, and think, okay, yeah, that was good because I liked it. Screw y'all, I liked it. I hope he steps down, man. I hope he goddamn steps down. Because the more this show goes on with him in charge, the more things are going to get worse. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning into my rant / results video, my review of this whole stupid ass draft that was a complete waste of time. No one went anywhere other than a few handful of people that probably should have been drafted or traded anyways. And then this whole stuff with Bray Wyatt going to SmackDown might not even be the case because I'm hearing he might go back to Raw because of the big draft trade. So for all we know, he could be right back on Raw next week. It kind of has to be, right? If he's gonna do a feud with Seth Rollins going into Saudi Arabia, he kind of has to be back on Raw, right? This is the dumbest thing I've seen, man. This whole stupid draft just makes me glad AEW exists. What do you guys think? How are you guys feeling about this show? Be sure you like the video. By the way, like the video and subscribe. Those of you new in here. Let me get some thoughts. Give me your thoughts on the draft, Bray Wyatt and the Fiend, Seth Rollins, all of it. Joseph Winter says, please step down, Vince. Please step down. Brandon Solely says, I quit watching Raw after 25 years because I couldn't stand it anymore. My love has died. You poor thing. Panda Hat. John Moxley said it. Vince is going to die in that chair. Yeah, he isn't going nowhere. Danny 310 says, it's inconceivable. Really. Agent Inferno, that defeats the purpose of a draft in the first place. Exactly. If everybody's going to stay where they are, why even do the goddamn draft? 98% of the time says FWWE and their shows. Eddie Lamb Music says, did you guys notice they didn't mention Columbus Day tonight? Ultrashot 97 says the 2016 draft was better than this one. It was. I hated that draft too. But this one is far worse than 2016. Apparently, KO is back to SmackDown. How is KO back on SmackDown? Did they make the switch? Whatever. Again, I'm sorry. What happened to Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff having influence in the shows? I don't know, dude. I feel bad for Rollins. Whatever. Bradley Xavier says, it's a superstar shakeup disguised as a draft. Jacob Corona says 1998 Raw is war, 2019 Raw is dead. Wow. Robert Kent says the Falls Count Anywhere match will end in a double countout. With both of them not getting up, probably. I'm telling you, it's going to end in a no contest. Just like their match at Hell in a Cell. Well, that ended in a DQ, but no one's winning this match. Oh, I might actually have to watch JD from NY. I want to see him rip this apart. I don't really watch his stuff. I don't have any issues against him, but I might have to see him rip this apart. Spicy Lemon says Falls Count Anywhere has to end in the ring. It's Falls Count Anywhere. It doesn't have to end in the ring, man. What are you talking about? Javier Jr. 201. Where is Eric Bischoff at? I don't freaking know. No one knows. Malik Kelts. I don't get why what Rollins said on Twitter shouldn't affect his on-screen character. Rollins is, and this is the problem with people like Rollins who basically, his character on screen is him in real life. There is really no separation from the on-screen character and himself. Rollins, who he is on Twitter, is who he is inside the ring. There is no separation from the character. You see what I mean? So who they see on Twitter is who they see inside the ring. So they're going to be associating both. And so therefore, they're going to hate him. That's just how it is. Zach. Epix Gamer. No idea who that is. Luke Harper went undrafted. He'll go to Raw with Eric Rowan. So, hey guys, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for making this podcast a very, very big podcast. If you haven't already, like the video. There's 312 of you in here. Like the video, subscribe, help your boy the Last Man get to 30,000 subscribers. I will be back up here later this week for my AEW and NXT review this week. Smackdown review on Friday. If you guys want me to stop reviewing WWE Raw and SmackDown, you have got to change the game. You have got to give AEW and NXT your viewership. Otherwise, what's the point? So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a good day. And we'll see you guys next time right here in your boy the X-Men's World. I'm out. Peace.